any longer. It'd be too tight.
I don't have a problem with eating a donut in the buff, in the fur, as it may be.
Well, it is a fancy new airport. They have made some renovations since last time you were at JFK. Especially Terminal C is right. And as you are having your breakfast...
That's as a result of our fighting the brainwave in that terminal. There kind of wasn't much left.
You're kind of looking forward to this experience because you understand that you're going to be flying first class. This will be sort of a luxurious trip. You may recall that you are headed to New Mexico. SHIELD has a research and development campus there. They've invited you to test some new experimental items. And they didn't give you a lot of details. They said they would tell you more about that in person. So this should be nice. This should be kind of a fun trip. However, you have to get through the spectacle that is security and getting on the plane.
Wait a minute, we work for the TSA. Can't we, like, call ahead?
No exceptions. Everyone is treated the exact same. You never know whether a threat could be. You have to maintain your vigilance. If you don't, that leads to trouble.
Gentlemen, while I'm looking forward to first class, perhaps we should investigate alternative methods of travel.
Your tickets are paid for. There's an open bar.
Open bar! Forget about it!
For the 8-year-old.
Do you have your ID? I hate having to deal with you getting carded. It's just bitch about it.
How are you packing for this trip? I mean, just
57?
a 3-day.
Oh.
Are you carrying a slingshot with you?
Duffel bag.
Okay, you have a slingshot and metal casings in your duffel bag?
No, I overnighted to the location.
Okay, all right. I think that might be a wise move.
I do have a pocket full of quarters.
Pocket full of silver coins.
I have a pocket full of quarters.
Oh, very good. Very good.
I have a pocket full of kryptonite.
Tank,
Is that too obvious?
you just taking an overnight kit? Anything special?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't have much.
All right. Very good.
You gotta replace an engine when the plane had problems.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you're traveling light. You wait for your flight?
I have a special passport for when I go through the X-ray machine and the...
In the metal detector and you set it off at the Christmas tree?
Yeah.
Well, you do work for TSA. I would like to think that hopefully you've prepared accordingly or have something, maybe. I don't know. I guess you have passports, but you don't need to bring a passport. You've got your...
He's got a special government ID.
Okay, a special government ID, that's fair.
This guy's a good guy.
I think
8-year-olds pass.
makes good sense.
Let's 8-year-olds pass through the metal detector going, dee, 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 dee.
So your flight's at 10:30. It's on time. Things look pretty good.
Wait a minute. This is definitely a fantasy.
Oh, this is so bad.
You get in line with a bunch of people in security. They get you up to the metal detector, and they take one look at you. And there is a rather thin, scrawny woman who looks like a chain smoker. She's got kind of ratty hair, brown, mouse-ish kind of hair that goes down to about her chin. She looks one look at you, and you can see her kind of sneer. And she shakes her head, and she says, "I'm sorry, you're going to have to go for special review. You're going to have to come behind the curtain, all of you."
I tell Chris, take care of this.
I think that might incur negative karma.
She hits a button and a little red light goes on. She says, "All of you are going to have to go into the curtain."
Ma'am?
Yes.
What could I possibly be carrying?
You freak. Look at you. Traveling around by day, sucking the blood of innocent people. Now you think you can get on a plane. It's not safe, I tell you. I don't like your kind. None of you. You're all mutants.
Because if I'm on a plane,
I know, right?
I want to
This is going to happen?
the blood of the pilot so we crash and I die.
What's a little kid like you doing with a rotten group of apples like this? It's so sad. It's so sad they're corrupting you.
I look at her name tag and I say, "Jane, you ignorant slut." Don't you realize that all bats are vampire bats? Vampires fly into bats, or they are people. They are not a mix of both.
You got fangs. You got wings. You're gonna. How many people have you killed just last week? You know what? Just
look at the papers. Have you seen how many people I've saved?
Please, my job here is to save people as well. Let's just take a look at you. We'll do the strip search, and you'll be done.
I'm not wearing any clothes.
Louis.
You should be quick.
Louis.
I'm waiting for you guys anyway. All right, fine.
Escort him into the curtains, please. big,
Your wings, sir.
bulky guy comes over. He's not quite as bulky as Tank, I have to say. In fact, he's shorter than Tank. So imagine like who's that guy from the tank? Who's the Tom Hanks? He's in Miracle Green Mile. Green Mile. Who's the
dead.
Clark Duncan who passed away?
Michael Clark Duncan.
He looks like that.
Clark Duncan Griswold.
So he looks like Michael Clark Duncan, but then Tank is larger than him, and he has to look up at Tank. But he is now escorting you politely behind the curtain. What do you do?
I weave a sonic shield around my back.
Okay. We're going to say that that's such an important item that you don't even need to roll for that. The shield is in place.
Small.
Small. Small
Well,
back.
it's not that small.
Very small.
I'm gonna use mind transfer.
Not figuring out what's going on, but I follow everybody to help protect them if I need to.
Okay, very good. What's that? What are you doing, Jacob Jones?
I'm gonna use mind transfer
Yes?
for the lady. I'm gonna whisper really quickly to whoever's next to me to hold my mouth, and I'm gonna mind transfer. I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna mind transfer in, hold my mouth, control me. And I'm gonna go into the body of this agent.
Who's doing what? 3,
Oh, you know what?
2,
I got it.
1. Okay, you got it. Good.
No, I can hold his mouth closed with telekinesis, and if he makes any noises, I can redirect that with my energy emission.
I love it. I love it. Now you guys are working like a team. That's excellent. All right, roll me a mind control check.
All right, excellent.
I was just gonna smash somebody.
I mean, you can hold his arms down.
28.
What was that?
His arms up there.
28.
28 for your power of mind control is what? What's your mind control power, Chris?
Excellent.
Excellent for
Can I use karma?
The problem with karma is you have to say how much you're going to use before you make the roll.
All right.
But you didn't know that. So I'll tell you what. I'll let you roll again. If you want to add some karma to that roll, you can. But now you have to know you have to announce it in advance.
Oh, all right. All right. So I use what? 20.
You need a 41 or better to succeed.
All right. I got 50 something. 54.
Good job. She rolled a 7, so she is definitely under your control right now. You feel your consciousness switch. You are now in the mind of a woman who despises herself and her life, her chain-smoking lifestyle. The only thing she has to her name are 2 cats whom she adores. She got married and divorced 15 years ago, Lenny and Squiggy. But now you are inhabiting the body of this woman. Also, you notice that John Jacob Jones looks around wildly and begins to open his mouth.
I shut his mouth with telekinesis.
And I'm going to say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Nobody believes
You all, this is absolutely outrageous. I'm going to let you go just because you remind me of my late uncle's friend's cousin's sister's brother, who I love so much. And I swear to God, Lenny, I love them so much. You guys just go ahead. If I hear another peep out of your mouth, you're gone. You're done. You hear me? Get out of here. I don't want to hear another word out of you. Listen, hey, who's that guy? Who's he mumbling? I don't want to hear you mumbling. Shut him up. Shut him up. Grab his mouth and shut him up.
Redirecting his voice.
So I'm pointing, of course, I'm pointing to Brian to shut this guy up. Shut him up. If you don't shut him up, I will shut him up.
I shut him up without moving a muscle.
Okay. Very good.
His mouth, you shut him up. I don't want to hear what he says. Get the hell through. Listen, you guys, you're the best. I heard what you did. I love you. Get out of here. No problems with these guys from here on in.
It seems to succeed. You move your way through security. When do you let go of control?
The last possible.
As soon as we're fully through security.
Yeah, when I hear the other guy going, what, that's when I let go of Brian.
Okay.
Of Brian's form. Not Brian.
John Clark Duncan steps back. He lets you walk through. You go through standard normal security.
You're carrying the Whisperer's body?
Yes.
And you make it through security.
Excellent.
And are you letting go of control?
As soon as we're fully through security.
Mm-hmm.
And
a little bit
when
of head
the
start.
plane leave.
You still have easily another 30 minutes before the plane takes off.
Oh, we're bad. We got here only 30 minutes beforehand.
Well, you waited. You waited a while.
No.
You're in the city. You don't have to travel far. And you were.
How long do I have control? I have 16.
I think that means
16 rounds.
16 rounds, so 160 seconds. So that's what is that? Like 4 minutes and some change.
It's break time.
Yeah, so I take the person and I tell them I'm going to break. Fantastic. And I leave the area. I have my friend visiting for the month. And
That's what my girlfriend used to say.
This is not right.
Wait a minute, are you
and I walk out of the terminal.
Okay. And you walk out of the terminal.
As soon as his body stops struggling?
It's you have probably. I mean, all of this entire transaction took less than 160 seconds. So I'm thinking you probably have 20 more seconds.
Whenever he stops struggling,
As soon as she's as far away as humanly possible.
All right. So you move as quickly as you can to your gate, getting out of sight. It's a big airport, and John Jacob Jones returns to his body. You find yourself unable to talk, John Jacob Jones, because your mouth feels shut and you don't seem to be able to open it. And you're also being carried by the tank.
Excellent. I give him a double tap.
Wait, you shoot him twice?
That's the zombie game.
Oh.
You tap out.
You notice that John Jacob Jones is giving you the double tap? You gonna let him go?
Yep.
Okay. And you're clear. You now are able to move your mouth again.
Nice job, new guy.
By
A
the
little
way,
something I can do.
we need to come up with a password is pancakes.
We could have had.
When you come back in your body, let us know by saying, Carl?
Pancakes.
Got it?
Pancakes it is.
Well, you spend the next 30 minutes waiting, a little bit anxious, wondering if your hijinks are going to catch up with you, realizing every minute that passes.
On tape.
It was caught on tape, and that if they ever find out, that you could get fired from the TSA for your actions.
This guy told us to go. What are we supposed to do?
We simply we followed the procedure as dictated to us.
Well, you were very fortunate because it seems that nobody raised a ruckus, or she was unable to find you, or she was so freaked out by the experience that she chose not to say anything. But as they call your plane and you all board the plane, you feel like you've gotten away with murder. Well, a cool trick at least. Here is the Boeing 747 that you're going to be flying.
That's what
Ooh la la.
This is first class.
I remember spread my wings.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you happen to notice that as you look at your tickets a little more closely, not all of you actually have first class tickets. This is for if you scroll upwards a little bit, Josh.
Adam?
Or Adam.
You left it over there?
Blame Jeff.
Where the
That was a great reveal. You
hey,
did that on
man.
purpose.
Some of you will
Cattle
be
car?
sadly sitting in the cattle
Oh,
car.
this is blue.
Okay, and the new guy. The small guy and the new guy.
And here is where you were sitting on the plane.
Yeah.
So, who made it into first class?
Not me.
The 8-year-old boy made it into first class. And Brian Baird made it into first class as well. You can see them in row 58 and 57. In fact, in terms of airplane lottery, are you guys familiar with the concept of airplane lottery? Airplane
Oh yeah, we're familiar with it.
riding the airplane is a bit like buying a lotto ticket. Sometimes you win big, and sometimes you lose terribly. An example of winning big is if you have a seat all to yourself, perhaps. Or maybe in the case of Brian Baird, he seems to be sitting next to perhaps an attractive person who we may want to chat up. On the other hand, there are examples of losing the airplane lottery, and if you scroll all the way towards the back of the plane, I think it was Chris. It was
Thank you.
sadly, it looks like John Jacob Jones, the Whisperer, is in a very uncomfortable position in row 45.
Yeah.
We see.
He's between Adam and Josh.
And we're trading IT stories.
Max the Tank, you made out all right. You got an aisle seat at least, and maybe you'll be able to convince the passenger next to you to take the window at some point. And the nerd, you did quite all right. You are between a couple of professional models, perhaps. Who can say? Not that that really matters in terms of the quality. But the plane takes off.
How are you doing?
If you are lucky enough and fortunate enough to be in first class, then you have been offered drinks. Andy the android, you've been offered a delicious V8 twist, and they've offered you ice cream. And Brian Baird, name the drink of your choice.
Blood. No, I'm kidding.
You have it.
Stop that.
In spades. You've got a personal entertainment system. You find a button about 15 minutes into the flight. It actually massages you. It's really quite nice.
I should make that a trick so I can beat myself in this.
I will go visit Brian. You know his surroundings and show him everything in this.
That's fantastic.
You are going to do willful destructive harm to government property, to private property.
That we're flying in.
Yeah,
Oh, it's in seats. No, I would not.
You make it into the electrical system, short off the ailerons or something.
they are showing a movie. It's Rocky 4. The movie begins.
Rocky 4000.
That's good.
Machine.
A meal is served. You're flying from New York to New Mexico, so you're looking at a good 4 or 5 hour flight at minimum.
They're not trying to interrupt the montage of him training with the big ox yoke and climbing up the mountain. I'm just not even going to learn that part.
You get a pocket of what do you call it?
Turbulence.
Yeah, turbulence. It gets a little bouncy. Those of you who can fly are really not bothered in the slightest. Those of you who are pretty much
military transport planes.
Oh God.
Nothing bothers me.
those.
Tricks for the girls around me.
What sort of?
I control the vibration so it's smooth as butter.
In charge and zap and shock.
Well, idiots showing off doing stupid shit.
Initially, they smiled at you. Now that they realize that you're a mutant,
They walk away.
they seem decidedly cold. They don't seem to be buying it.
I make it worthwhile for the guy sitting next to me to move to the window.
You fart a lot.
I stretch. And I accidentally whack him in the head.
Are you going to harm an innocent? Oh, just like a brush.
No, it's like a brush, yeah.
Oh, okay. And then he realizes that he's got extra space, and he slides over.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't hurt him, right? Okay.
He always wins the airplane lottery. Unless everybody loses.
No.
This is one of those.
Suddenly the airplane.
I only fly first class, so I don't know.
Suddenly the airplane drops, and when I say drop, I mean you feel like you're on a roller coaster. It just drops, and and you hear people scream.
Is that a lost thing where the guy slams up to the...
Most everybody had their seatbelt on, so it didn't, unlike Lost, people actually followed the directions and had them on, so you didn't see anybody hit the ceiling.
I remained asleep the whole time.
It is, you feel like you're riding a roller coaster now. It is rocky. You look outside, there's no storm, and now you notice that the nose is pointing downwards, and you can hear the engines ramping. And you know that these cabins are soundproofed, and you can hear it. It is that loud now.
Why do you think the energy is inappropriate for the...
It seems like electricity are running through all of the circuits throughout the plane. You don't sense a short. You see electricity being fed, even into the engines themselves. You don't see any signs of smoke. It appears, you don't know too much about planes, but it appears to be the exact same energy scheme that you detected when you first got on board. Now, one of you might be a pilot.
Oh, that would be me.
Oh, that's right. Brian Baird has taken private pilot lessons. If you want to...
Because there's no difference between a Cessna and a 747.
If you want to roll your...
instrumentation in a 747.
There's
all you need is the one little thing that says your level. Yep.
If you want to look out the window and apply your pilot skill, maybe you can discern.
My piloting isn't that good.
I think it's a +1 to...
Yeah, it's a +1 bonus to anything related to aircraft. So I guess that would be
wish all of you good luck.
like intuition +1 CS.
That's what I would do, yeah. And it's a green.
Brian, we gotta get all these...
In fact, I'm going to give you...
What?
This is so obvious, Brian, that I'm going to give you a +3 shift from this.
Total?
So it's a +4 total.
Okay, can we really say that I just know that shit is bad?
Well...
Alright, so it's a green...
Did you...
+4...
Brian, they those people to a hospital.
Or
Big organizations. That's on board right now.
You love to play with don't you?
Love that.
Just missed it.
Son of a gun.
Man.
That's the karma.
One.
That's the karma.
They don't have any. They can't do that too fast. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, typical. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Incredible. Yeah, I literally missed it by 1.
It was 31 to hit.
Second night in a row.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know that something is not right. You don't think there's an issue with the plane. The airline people, the stewardesses, sorry, flight attendants, are freaked out. They tell everybody stay in your seat and lean forward, put your head between your legs, and they sort of scream.
Are they hot ready just now?
Alright, so I get up. Oh, I hope I don't get arrested.
It is very difficult to move right now. The plane is heading barreling towards the earth. If you look out the window.
I want to get to the front of the plane.
Okay.
You are in the front of the plane.
Well, I want to get in. I want to get all the way. I'm trying to get to the cockpit.
Okay. So you try to get up.
What is it?
It's over in the front of the plane.
So you can see there's the entrance to the cockpit right there. Well, I think those are actually.
I can't tell what
Those are the restrooms.
I know, but we're going to say that's close to the cockpit. Up front there,
Okay.
that's where the pilots would be. And you can get up there. It's going to be a challenge, though. You might bump and bruise yourself. Do an agility check. See if you get in there in one piece.
Can I fly there?
This is way too enclosed for your wings to fly.
11.
Okay. You get bumped and jostled around, take 4 points of damage.
Yeah.
But you do get to the head of the plane. And the door is swinging open and closed, open and closed.
These doors are supposed to be locked, according to TSA policies. I know. Knowing is half the battle. Would you say
He climbed his way to the front of the plane, and the door to the cockpit is swinging open and closed, open and closed.
So I announced myself back to the cockpit. Hello, there seems to be a problem here.
You see
you guys okay?
both pilots slumped over, dead, blood coming from their head, and there's a man who looks like a businessman, calmly in the cockpit, and he's forcing the wheel downward. He seems to be in control of the plane.
That sucks.
I remove him from the seat.
How?
Telekinesis.
Okay, make a roll.
50.
All you do is find the autopilot switch.
5-0. I think that's a success on a green for your monstrous.
I don't think that. No, my telekinesis isn't monstrous.
Oh, that's right.
Incredible.
Incredible?
I think it's still green.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's still a green. You cause him to
So I
levitate.
out of the seat and just pin him to the floor.
Done. He is now pinned to the floor. The plane is wildly out of control now, where before he was playing pressure. Now that pressure is gone, and it's just kind of, you feel the plane shift. At least you were upright. Now it's starting to turn on its axis, to
All right,
spin.
so I want to, as I'm getting him out of the seat, I want to try to climb into it. And I yell, hey, anybody, I need a hand up here.
Agility check
Yes.
and a pilot check.
I will jot my way up there.
Done.
Oh,
You are now in the cockpit.
Wait.
Oh, you got
My
to.
agility check was a
Excuse me,
9.
ladies.
My agility check was a 9.
You take another 4 points of damage. You hit your head hard. Your right eyebrow is bleeding.
I make sure that the
You need to do a check, a roll, to make sure that you can zap your way up there.
Would that be reason, or it's all the same reason, intuition?
And I'm still giving you a plus 4.
I get lost in the circuitry.
I rocket
Twice.
Oh my gosh.
myself up the aisle.
I'll make it to the third time with a 96.
Well done.
87. I get it with this.
What time was that?
Shut up.
Yeah, I get it with. I mean, I got a yellow piloting.
Okay.
So I make sure I'm trying to both level the plane out and pull the nose up at the same time while applying the throttle.
Tell me what to do.
Watch that thing right there.
I made sure he does get out.
It's on the radio.
I gave him a good shock.
Oh, good. So I don't have to worry about my keeping telekinesis on there.
Correct.
Get on the radio.
This is flight 666.
Bearing, oh God, we're headed west. Bearing 270, altitude 13,000 feet.
Andy, have you ever been in a Turkish prison?
Flight 666.
Are you black too? Like maybe like basketball players?
Yes.
Control to 666. We've got you way off course. You're about 20,000 feet below the prescribed route. What's your sit rep? Over?
Who's talking to you? I'm trying to fly. You talk.
The pilots are out of condition. There was a man attempting to commandeer the flight. We have an inexperienced person with minimal piloting skills flying the plane.
He's an experienced pilot.
Thanks for your vote of confidence.
We have a mildly experienced small aircraft pilot and me.
Okay. Do you require an emergency landing? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, yeah.
Well, where are we?
Rerouting you to the closest airport right now. Hang on. Looks like the New Mexico airport is your closest airport. You're approximately 30 clicks out.
All right, what do I need to be at for an altitude? Give me an altitude and heading.
Okay, you should be at this point on a approach to land. Take yourself to 8,000. We'll clear the runway and we'll clear the airspace for you.
All right, descending to 8,000.
Very good. They talk you in. You have no difficulty landing the plane.
Did you ever see the Mythbusters episode where they have like a flight controller trying to talk them landing a plane through the air simulator? And they're like, yeah, it was no problem doing it with somebody on the radio.
Oh, really?
They tried to do it by themselves. They both crashed and burned.
Wow.
It was like a bumpy landing when they did it with assistance.
That is
kind of like
interesting.
You press one button to line it up, and then like you press another button to start the process.
It's actually pretty much automated.
Okay, so congratulations, you have landed the plane. It is highly traumatic. Some of the flight attendants are crying, but you have managed to survive. And you happen to be at the airport that you needed to be at as well.
And that was convenient. They totally didn't want to get on the plane. We would have just flown ourselves.
You are approached by TSA, Homeland Security. They ask you questions about the gentleman, if you noticed anything getting on the plane. They take him under custody, lock and key.
How did he get on the plane? How did he compensate the pilot?
How did he get into the cockpit?
He's not saying anything. He's dead, stoic, silent. He's not saying a word.
Would it be immortal to look at him and go, he doesn't need all of this blood, does he?
Another member of Homeland Security approaches you and advises that they had complaints about some sort of activity over at JFK, that they were prepared to make it a level of arrest when you arrived, but given the events of what have just happened,
what did they hear about at JFK?
We're just going to ignore. We got a complaint from a TSA agent, something about she was restrained against her will, she was fed mind-altering drugs, and she blames people matching your description.
She was pointedly aggressive against my mutant status. She was completely a total bigot against us.
Have you reviewed the
I actually think she was referring to the guy that we took out of the cockpit.
Listen. We're just gonna let this pass. You just saved a plane full of people. So I've never heard the complaint. I never heard the complaint. I never saw you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Jesus Christ, we don't even do anything.
Would anybody like to interrogate this gentleman any further?
I'm sure TSA will.
TSA and Homeland Security are on it.
Record, we learned
I'm going to go ahead and use mind transfer while whispering into whomever's ear is listening.
For the record, we learned last week that interrogation is very highly frowned upon by heroes, so that we kind of have to shy away from that.
Well, you know what? It's interrogation they don't know about.
We just don't call it interrogation, Chris.
We're gonna question them very hard. So I'm gonna use my mind transfer and let you guys go ahead and have at it with this gentleman for at least 10 minutes, and then we're gonna switch back.
You get 160 seconds. You don't get 10 minutes.
We're gonna get 160 seconds.
Yeah, do you know what? Don't even bother.
No, because it'll just come back to bite us.
Yeah, we almost got arrested because of your shenanigans last time. Why you gotta stop doing that?
Nobody will know.
Have you read the Mutant Ethics Act lately?
Now, on the plus side, you actually have landed 20 minutes ahead of schedule because they cleared the airspace and the runway for you. And waiting for you is a black, luxurious limousine with the license plate SHLD1.
Ooh, one.
A driver has a Baird and Grope on a placard. He's waiting for you.
I wanted to see my name with the word Grope afterwards. Oh, by the way, FNG, come here. I want to confer with Chris kind of, pseudo-secretly. You have energy. You have emission vibration detection.
Yep.
All right, we're going to set up some secret signals. Here's a vibration pattern. If you detect this, you know that I'm in trouble.
That's good.
And then here's a separate, a different distinct pattern. If you detect this, you know that I'm not in trouble.
All right.
All right. So just keep that in mind. So we have signals that we can use, that at least I can use to communicate to you when we're not in the same vicinity.
Perfect.
Unfortunately, I can only emit. I can't detect. So it's one-way street.
Well, you do recall that you are a bat and you have sonar. And you were able to hear very high levels of sound.
It's vibration. I suppose you could vibrate something to make a specific frequency.
If only the Whisperer had the ability to control sound.
I suppose you could just talk to me.
Maybe he does.
You realize perhaps that the Whisperer could speak at a very high frequency that only you could hear? Maybe.
Yeah, well, we should set up non-word signals as well, so that.
I have like a bad feeling about this. Something like the movie Splash.
I've actually never seen that.
Oh well, if you do,
you'll know.
You'll know what I'm talking about.
That'll be good, but we should set up
Daryl Hannah when she speaks in
some signals that don't require words. So if anybody else can hear that frequency, also they won't be able to hear it. They'll just be kind of like an SOS kind of thing. Not universal, no.
Nice idea.
You guys know what I'm getting at, right, Chris?
True.
Tell me you're in trouble without using words.
Nerves, as you are departing the airport, getting ready to enter the limousine, the woman who sat on your left-hand side gives you a card and smiles at you and walks away.
Ooh, does the card say?
It says 415-446-4062. Call me sometime.
San Francisco.
Does it have a name?
It's a California number, yeah. It does not have a name.
Wow.
That is very sad that I just...
Miss Potter,
That's very impressive.
What was your name?
San Francisco.
Oh, she's already gone, and you've got, obviously, the limousine driver is waiting for you all to pile in.
It's a problem.
Okay, so...
I would not myself want to immediately call the number.
You hear a couple of rings, and then a pickup, and it's the girl. And she's like, hello?
Then I hang up the phone. Actually, it's Adam's phone.
That's not creepy at all. No.
His phone.
Oh, you used Brian Baird's phone.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
find a way to carry things with me while I'm...
You have a Chewbacca bandolier with little pouches in it.
Can I make kind of noise? No, not quite.
I assume that you are Baird and Grope. Should we go to see Shield R&D?
Make it so.
All right, very good.
Take us to your leader.
It's not too far of a drive. We're going about 45 minutes.
Wait, how many of us are going to be... This is a limousine?
This is a big limousine.
How many of us are we going to be over capacity at all? Are we going to be crossing any bridges?
It's going to be very comfortable.
How wide is the partition between the front and the passenger? Never mind.
Are you,
I'm just going
what?
to get killed in a fire.
Oh, Tony Stark reference?
No, modern, 4 Women Dead reference.
Oh, excuse me.
California.
Gotcha. Okay, so you begin driving, and he calls over the back. How was the flight?
Let's not talk about that.
Invigorating.
Watch
Okay.
the news tonight.
What's that?
Watch the news.
All right. I guess I will.
Hell, you know what? He's probably got CNN on a feed in the car.
There is a newspaper in the limousine. The New Mexico Times. Googleplex, found dead. New York, Shakespeare once wrote, a coward dies 1,000 times before his death, but the valiant taste of death but once. But he had not evidently met the villain Googleplex, who was found dead early today en route to federal supervillain confinement facilities. Inside sources say that... Oh, shoot. My map is...
Actually, that's amazing. This is something like that.
I feel so useless. I feel like it's just such an inferior GM because Bob puts so much effort in.
Hang on 1 second, guys. I have set the dimensions for the map just a little too short.
You're a freaking slacker, dude.
Josh, what are you talking about, man? Your campaign rocks. Let's try
I
that.
don't know who the props anymore.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
There you go. Now you should be able to read the whole thing.
I love you, buddy.
You can GM next time.
Inside sources say his body was found deflated and brittle. Googleplex, known for his ability to duplicate himself and his possessions multiple times, was captured on Wednesday when he and his accomplices attempted to rob a PNC bank in Park Avenue. The robbery was foiled by agents of the Transportation Security Agency known as GROPE. When approached for a statement, authorities said the matter was currently under investigation and they had no comment at this time. There's an additional article about the lives of the people who have lost millions, their entire life savings, but you really don't want to feel any more depressed than you already are.
I saved lives.
That could be because of the bomb.
After about 20 or 30 minutes, you pull up on what appears to be...
Have we seen any other, any other supervillains that have had the same problem?
That's the key from Police Academy.
You've never heard of you've never heard of anything like this, although what happened to Woolly Mammoth?
Yeah,
there's a mole.
The same exact.
There's a mole.
But the question is, why is it only supervillains that we have captured?
Maybe we're the ones who've captured them.
I was going to say, have there been any other supervillains captured in the past, since we captured the mole?
In the past 72 hours?
Yeah.
You don't know of anything. You haven't heard of anything even remotely similar, at least in the past 2 weeks.
Even of anybody being captured and like, supervillain was captured, end of story.
You might have to go on Google or something to find this out. Because at least when you
look at it right now.
you can run a reason check. We'll call that a Google search if you want.
I'm curious if there's any other. Yeah. I check my freaking New York Times RSS feed. And I sort by supervillains.